So, hello everybody. Here we are with our second episode of our Living Nutz show, where we're going to be talking about everything to do with our company, our lifestyles, the parts of our company that we want to be really transparent and clear about. And our hope in doing this is to not only make our company grow, but we want to influence and inspire other people and other companies to take a similar mode of being transparent and being honest and ethical, because our world needs these types of figures more than ever. So we'll pick up here at the second episode with, we were talking a little bit about last week was the name of our company. We started out with the Allman Brothers, that's what we were called, and then we had that name for a long time.
Which
and
was
then,
kind of like a play with the Allman Brothers Band, which is obviously spelled differently.
Yeah.
But it was kind of along that same line, sort of like a funny, but also naming the company after the nut that we used to start the company with, the famous almond, the king of all nuts.
Yeah, that's so. And we got dubbed the Allman Brothers, and it was funny. It was great. You know, the whole raw food community and lifestyle was really thriving at that point, and we were just all in. We were like right into it. But it's interesting, like talking about the very beginnings of Living Nutz. We talked about our teriyaki flavor that we had last week, and then this was the second flavor. And you want to talk about starting from ground zero. We were renting a house in Maine. Is Sebago Lake the biggest lake in Maine?
Second biggest.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a lake in Maine called Sebago Lake, second biggest lake. And we were renting a house with one of our really close friends. And, you know, we're all just having a great time making raw food dishes, having raw food parties, and just experimenting with every kind of raw food thing you can imagine, you know, just like super, super into it. And this was the second one that you made, right?
It was, yeah. Yep, zesty. Yep.
And what inspired that?
Well, eating out a lot and just enjoying food and the relationship that ingredients can have with each other. And then also applying that to the almond, which was the first nut we worked with. I decided to take my expertise of really just eating out mostly and being in the kitchen, but I loved Thai food and Indian food. So I knew that there's certain ingredients, especially cumin, that they bring out this flavor when mixed with soy sauce and olive oil and other healthy ingredients. And I said, let's make this taste kind of like almost like a curry, but not necessarily curry, because you know back then people weren't really into curry like they are now. But I wanted it to taste really good, and again I used some spices that help kind of round out the flavor. And so a couple times in the kitchen I just started mixing around with a few of these ingredients that I just spoke of, and then we dehydrate it, and the next day we were like blown away by how good it tastes. It's like really the first try.
Yeah.
And the cumin has got such a strong flavor, especially when you mix it with other things. It really stands out, and that particular ingredient was huge in the process of zesty almonds.
It's funny because when we first went raw, like the thing was like you're eating all raw food, right? And your body goes through all these changes and everything changes, but you feel cravings come up for foods that you used to eat. And so we were always trying to create like the healthy raw version of the foods we love most, like Davey said, Thai food, Indian food, things like that were just yum, you know? And so we were always trying to tweak things out and figure things out and make the alternatives. And a lot of the time we succeeded, because I remember feeling like, wow, I feel satiated. Like this is really filling that need for Italian food or Indian food or Thai food, or I mean
foods we were trying to stay away from at the time.
Right. The unhealthy version.
Yeah,
unhealthy, and you know, not to everything's healthy, and
the ingredients that we use are clean and pure and sourced direct.
Yeah.
And you know, made with love, of course. That's the first ingredient.
Because we were love and passion, because we loved how we felt. We loved what the whole movement represented. We were just super passionate about it. Yeah. And it's interesting too, because the whole raw food lifestyle and everything, it wasn't just about food. You know, it was, and funny story that happened actually when we were living at this house in Sebago Lake in Maine. It was winter, and you know, people were, you know, yoga hadn't become a thing yet like it is now. Everything was like that we see now, for all everybody considers more mainstream, these alternative health practices that are not so alternative anymore. They were just really starting out. You know, they were really underground. Not a lot of people knew about them, but this raw food community was connecting all these diverse different groups of people. You know, the yoga communities, the qigong communities, just all these different alternative health modalities and communities were all being connected together. And like the Wim Hof method, okay, that's huge now. Everybody has heard about that, or in natural health has heard about or knows about it. You know, deep breathing, cold therapy where you expose yourself to cold water. But back then, no one knew anything about it. It wasn't a thing like it is now. But we had this guy named Dennis, and he was like the first like real committed yogi that we knew. And we'd always say he's a yogi among us.
Yeah,
and
he had a dedicated practice every morning.
It was like I can't remember the name. It was a Tibetan yoga practice,
and it was intense. I mean, I tried it and I got dizzy within minutes. And he's like, well, that's because you haven't built up and got to the point that you can get to, like where he was at.
Yeah.
But he said in a very humble way.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of repetitive motions up and down, like downward dog, but doing it quickly.
Yeah.
And you quickly get dizzy. You feel like you're gonna vomit. That's how intense this practice was. But he did it every morning, and this guy he's amazing.
He was an inspiration.
Yeah.
We were all like, I mean, there's tons of people like that, and there still is now, but he was one that we were like, this guy's amazing. We really, really like him. He's inspiring us. And so we had him up in the middle of winter in Maine. I mean, there's a ton of snow out. It's just as cold as could be. And we're at this lake house. And we wake up one morning, you know, and
where's Dennis?
Yeah, we're like, and where is he? We're looking for him. And we see him, okay? He's outside naked, walking through the snow, okay? There are no tracks to the snow down the lake. He's walking through the snow naked. Okay, and there's one little open patch of water on the lake. The entire lake is like frozen for the most part, but for whatever reason, there was a little area on the shore where it wasn't. It was open. And we're looking out the window. We're like, no way. He's actually.
It was already just cold, just walking through literally 2 feet of
barefoot
snow.
in the snow, right?
It was like early February, so we had, you know, a lot of the winter was behind us, but so we had a lot of snow, a big pile of snow, because by that time in the winter is usually a lot, and there was. And that, you know, we used to have bigger storms back then too, somewhat.
We definitely did back then, yeah. Winters have changed a lot up here. So anyway, we're looking out the window and we're just like, no way. This guy's actually gonna swim naked in the lake. And sure enough, and it's a long? It's a long walk too. It's not like right there. It was,
I mean, long enough when you're
barefoot.
When you're
naked.
barefoot in the middle of a Maine winter. After jumping into a cold lake. Ice cold lake, literally.
So he did that. He jumps in, and
it wasn't in and out either.
He was swimming around
for a good 5 minutes. To me, that would have felt like 5 hours. But
and then he came back. You know, he gets out, just totally as cool as could be, cool as a cucumber. You know, just no big deal, like it was nothing. He starts walking back, but we noticed right away. We were like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody get that red.
Yeah.
Like his body was literally turning so red from the cold exposure. We were like, wow, this is like, okay, this is beyond us.
Yeah.
This is a different level of taking health to a new level.
Absolutely. And he never got sick either. I remember him saying that. This guy was healthy as can be.
Yeah.
He was from Russia. We had Russian heritage. And the first thing he said when he came to Maine, he's like, oh, this reminds me of Russia.
Yeah.
It's like, this is
so it's probably nothing for him anyway. And it's like me, I've been playing a lot with cold exposure and doing stuff like that. And I can stay for a while, but it has taken me a long time so that I've been able to adapt my body to be able to do that. So what he did, I still wouldn't do. Even with years of practice. So
it was amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, that was about the same time where we started releasing the two other flavors, Zesty, and then the next flavor, which we'll tell you next week. That's really good.
And it's funny, our whole product line just continued to evolve, and we gave them names that had cool representations and that meant things to us at a particular time. Because again, this is an almost 20-year-old company, so it's had its own evolutionary process of things that it's gone through and changes that it's made, and it's been really interesting, to say the least, to watch the evolution of a brand, of a company, of something like this. So
it's kind of like your child, yet your roommate, yet your livelihood, yet everything.
Yes, you are. It's a marriage that if you get divorced from, you're gonna wish you didn't, kind of thing, because you're so involved in it. There's so many aspects of your life, and there's very much, it's like your child, in the sense that you're very emotionally involved in the creation, the birth, and the product launch and movement and marketing and everything that's involved in growing a successful brand. And
especially to be competitive, but having it taste amazing is the first thing that I made sure that I could do right. Use top quality ingredients and make the product taste good, so that almost 20 years later we still have new customers that will comment how amazing it is. And it's like, wow, I developed this flavor 16 years ago, and people are trying it for the first time, and they're saying, oh, thank you, this is so good. It makes me really happy. It really motivates me to keep going and keep producing a high quality snack that everyone loves, and that future customers or friends or whoever that gets to enjoy it will.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to keep going with these series. We're going to talk a lot about the evolution of the Living Nutz product line, our own journeys and experiences and things that we happened as a result of going raw. We would love for people to like or love or like the video, share the video everywhere you can, comment below if you have questions or anything like that you want to ask us about our own personal journeys with anything to do with anything that we've talked about. We would love to hear from you guys. And of course, please go to our website, livingnuts.com, buy our products, try our products. We are a small company. We don't do, a lot of our advertising is word of mouth advertising. It's from our loyal customer base who loves us and gets the word out there. Even all the modern marketing channels that exist online are very difficult to try to grow a brand, unless you have like a tech company or you've spent
money behind
10 years like learning to become an internet marketing expert. It can be very challenging to grow and scale a brand on social media, just because it's based, it's made for the people that have a lot of money to do that. So companies that are made with 100% organic ingredients, like our company, not only do we use all certified organic ingredients, but our entire company is certified organic.
Absolutely.
We've, since the beginning, gone out of our way to put quality over quantity from the beginning. And that has left us with less profit margins, but we didn't care because we loved what we were doing, and we were so passionate about the cause right from the beginning that we weren't going to compromise our standards and our values, because I didn't want to eat food that isn't good for me. He didn't want to eat food that was good for him. So why would we want to put something that we wouldn't put in our bodies out to the world? We wouldn't. So with all that said, please go to our website, try our product, tell everybody you know about us, watch this video, share this video, all of that.
Health is wealth.
It truly is. Exactly. It truly is. And as we said in the last video, our goal with doing all this is to be really transparent and to set a new standard in the hopes that we can create a new paradigm. Because as everybody knows, our world is going through monumental, almost cataclysmic changes. And, to say the biblical passage, the meek shall inherit the earth, right? That can be interpreted many different ways. But we feel that those who are most willing to be stewards of the earth, to live in harmony with the earth as much as they can. Because not everybody can. Look at our modern lifestyle makes it so that even the most environmentally and health conscious of us have a difficult time doing that because of the powers that be, the systems that we are all a part of and that we are all just supporting. But as things change, as they're changing, we can begin to take steps towards a new, brighter, better future that is in harmony with natural law. Because, you know, it doesn't take much common sense to realize that if you go against nature, it's only a matter of time before nature is just going to be like, okay, they're not living in harmony with me, they're parasites, let's just get rid of it. Because that's what happens when we get unwell, we get sick. Our body, with its profound innate intelligence, knows how to heal itself. Same thing with the planet. The planet perceives us as something that isn't healthy. It's only a matter of time before its immune system kicks in and tries to find a way to make itself more healthy. So our goal is to create companies that reflect natural principles the best we can. And the more successful we are, the better we're going to do that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Go Nutz.
Yes, go Nutz. Living Nutz. And we have tons of funny stories and all kinds of stuff too that we're going to share with all you guys. So again, thank you so much.
Bye for now.